Marisol Menendez, and I will be your host today. But first of all, and as an introduction, let me welcome Irene Trambach, CEO of Nordic Future Innovation, or NFI as we know it. Irene, welcome.
Thank you so much. Dear all, welcome to the NFI Sustainability Conference. Topic, are you fit for the future? Today we are in Norway for the first time, Møre and Romsdal County and Ålesund City, and I'm sitting here at the Norwegian Maritime Competence Center in beautiful Ålesund. And together with our NFI members, Sparebanken Møre, the largest local bank, and Gjensidige, the largest insurance company in Norway, we hope you will become both impressed, inspired, and empowered by looking into how this region are joining forces, becoming more sustainable. And collaboration is what NFI is all about. The mission of NFI is bringing the Nordics together to boost global sustainable innovation. And in NFI, we have 3 dimensions for collaboration: connect, think, and do. Connect, like we do today, digitally. Hopefully, we will soon get to meet physically as well. Think, that's the glue in NFI, our sectorial forums, where participants from all the Nordic countries meet to share, explore, and innovate together. And the do dimension is where we are executing common projects, delivering results. For each forum, we have a leader, persons that want to be a part of something bigger than their daily job. And we are so lucky to have Bente Sverdrup from Gjensidige heading the Sustainability Forum. Bente is a passionate, knowledgeable, and energetic leader, and you will meet her later today. And it's also important to build global bridges. Our moderator today, Marisol Menendez, whom you have met, born in Mexico, living in Spain, former head of Global Open Innovation at BBVA. Marisol is head of Open Innovation at NFI, heading all our forums and initiatives. She believes deeply in the power of trust to drive change and in collaborative innovation. And Marisol, she has a huge global network she's sharing with us. We will also have a fireside chat today, where our global partner MasterCard and Johan and TCS and C, together with Tina from our partner Nordea, will discuss global effort on sustainability. So I hope you will enjoy this morning together with us. But before Marisol is taking over, I would like to introduce you to our chairman of the board, our co-founder of NFI, Chris Skinner. Chris is a known commentator on global financial markets. He blogs every day, and he's a great author. Today, he will share the highlights of his new book, Digital for Good. If you don't stand for something, you fall down. And that's also what the main theme will be in NFI in 2021, purpose-driven businesses. Dear Chris, a warm welcome. It's great to have you here today. I know you are very busy, and the stage is all yours. Welcome.
Thanks, Irene, and morning, Marisol and everybody, and thank you for joining. I'm going to just talk for a few minutes, and I guess mainly talk about what's inspired the new book project. I'm working on a number of book projects, but the main one is Digital for Good, which is in my sequence of talking about digital all the time. And this is inspired by a number of events, but I guess there's 2 key moments in the last decade that really came to the fore of my thinking. One is that the UK regulator, when the financial crisis hit in 2008, made a comment that a lot of what banks do is socially useless. And people were quite offended by this in my community because as bankers and financial people, we like to think that we're doing something for good, not for bad. But a lot of what banking is about is socially useless. It's been a situation that's compounded by the evolution of events. And someone said to me recently that, for example, our children are paying the mortgages of their parents, which is quite sad. You know, children can't afford to buy houses because they're not affordable anymore because their parents made them unaffordable. And then another comment that I picked up was when I was writing Digital Human, this book, got to get the right way, that book. I did a case study on Alipay. And as I walked around the Alipay offices, I saw a poster of Jack Ma with the words next to it saying, do good for society and good for the planet. And it stayed with me, do good for society and good for the planet. Very simple statement. But when you internalize that statement, do good for society and good for the planet, it's so simple, and yet it's so strong. And I think there's a number of things that have happened, particularly in the last decade, that make this an imperative now for the future, which is why Digital for Good, which is the next book, is going to be so strong. I'm not writing it, so I've actually got many friends writing it, including friends from the Nordic community, from across Europe, across Asia, Africa, South America, and North America, because I want it to be something that is not Chris saying it, it's the world is saying it. And the 5 things that I think are really driving this is, number one, digital transformation, in that we all know we've moved online, particularly in the last year, in that, you know, Zoom and its value as a company has increased ginormously because we've all suddenly become Zoomers. Were you a Zoomer in February 2020? I wasn't. And yet now we all do this as a natural thing. And equally, were you comfortable with the idea of working from home every day, being at home every day, ordering at home every day, getting delivered at home every day a year ago? I don't think so. I mean, I wasn't. And yet the process of moving through the last year where everything is done at home, work, sleep, service, entertainment, everything, is something that we've naturally transformed to. And a key question for me is for companies, particularly financial companies who I deal with the most, is have you actually transformed to be digital, or have you just evolved to be digital? And the difference for me is the difference between digital natives and digital immigrants. A lot of institutions have actually moved to cloud, for example, but they've just moved to be cloud-based so that their employees can work from home, rather than rethinking their business to be cloud native so that they're structured for everything to be at home. That's number one. Have you really done digital transformation? Are you a digital native company? Because I think you have to be in the current climate. But then a number of other things are bubbling, such as inequality, inclusion, diversity. Have you actually included and created equality for everyone? Is a big theme. The 1% are clearly now in the spotlight, as the 99% are suffering badly from the pandemic. Have you really created an equal society and an equal company? You know, do you really understand the nature of diversity? And it's not just about including women, it's about including everyone, whatever ethnic background or creed they have. And that to me is, again, a big theme in Digital for Good, because I think Digital for Good means that we can include everybody. We can be far more equal, because the internet democratizes the planet. It makes us, all of us, the same. A third theme is the climate crisis and the climate emergency, which, yeah, we all know there is a climate emergency because we see the headlines, but do we actually do anything about it? Are we seriously making that something that's important to us? And, 75% of the greenhouse gas emissions over the last 30 years have been created by just 100 companies. Can we change those companies? And how do we change them? The way we change them is through the way they're financed. And if financial institutions stop financing fossil fuel firms, then we can solve a lot of the climate emergency issues. Finance is at the heart of this. A fourth theme is the move from shareholder capitalism to stakeholder capitalism. Milton Friedman economics is busted. It's dead. The idea that business purely exists to produce profits for shareholders is stupid. We have to produce profits for society and the planet and for all parties, not just for shareholders. And stakeholder capitalism is also now very much at the fore, even being endorsed by people like Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, when the Business Roundtable created their stakeholder capitalism manifesto in November 2019. And finally, digital transparency is another big theme, because you can't hide anything anymore. You can try, you can think you can get away with doing things that are bad for society and bad for the planet, and wrap them up in layers of paperwork or layers of companies, but you'll be found out because the internet reveals everything. And so if you try and do bad things, you will be discovered, you will be found out. The internet makes our planet transparent. Everything is transparent. These themes for me are really important because at the end of those themes, I think that's what's driving purpose-driven business. And purpose-driven business means you have to stand up for something or you'll fall down. What do you stand for? As a business, what is your purpose? What are you trying to achieve? What are you doing that's good for society and good for the planet and good for the stakeholders in your company? And make that not just purposeful, but communicated so that people, employees, customers, society, government understand what you're trying to achieve as a business. Not just profit, but purpose. I could talk for a lot longer, but I'll hand back to Marielle.
Wow, thank you very much, Chris. I think that this was the perfect opening for a deep but also set to action journey that we are trying to do today. So think about the future and put our hands to good work just right now. Thank you very much for connecting, Chris. And I hope that all of you who are connected right now feel as energetic and inspired as I feel and as I see many faces right now. So now let me get open the floor for Bente Sverdrup, who is, first of all, and for us, for Irene and me and NFI, our dear leader for the NFI Sustainability Forum, and our partner in crime in setting this journey together. Bente, the floor is all yours.
Thank you. So I am Bente Sverdrup. I'm head of sustainability in Gjensidige, and I look so much forward to also work with sustainability in the NFI to try to use the common energy, to find good solutions together, because sustainability is about working together to find solutions, and by that bring hope and prosperity to everyone. The challenges are huge, and of course, as an insurance company, we have an important role in the financial system. And we believe that we play a very important role in our society. And we secure life, health, and assets in a sustainable manner. And of course, as climate change and nature risk is becoming more apparent to everyone, it's of course also important for us when we are taking the risk from our customers. We need to understand how to do it and how to help our customers to get into more sustainable business models and sustainable way of living. And in our sustainability work, the board has set 3 goals or 3 areas of our focus. And number 1 is to create a safe society. And to do that, number 1 for us as an insurance company, we need to understand better how we can prevent damage. And that includes both for life and health, and of course also for all our assets. But that is a changing target now, with all these possibilities using technology, but also informing people how to live to create a less risky world. And we, as an insurance company, we know that there will be accidents and damages in the future, but we have set goals that we are to reduce the CO2 intensity in our claims processes, which is a stretch target. So we have made our own climate accounts, and now we're trying to see how we can reduce the material consumption when the claims has happened. So that is the second area. And the third, of course, it's all about money at the end. So we also need to use our money to invest it more responsible. And that is also, in a way, the key driver in the EU Green Deal, which is a roadmap. And EU has been doing a fantastic job, I believe, to get an analytical approach using experts to setting this roadmap. And it's all about a new growth strategy to transform EU into a more fair and prosperous society. And I think that fits good with the ambitions also within the NFI. How can we share the resources more fair, How can we use the financial institutions to transfer the capital from what's not good business models to those who's part of the solution? And I think it's really interesting, all the things happening now. It's a massive amount of regulations that will pop up as a result of this. But in the roadmap, they have set out 6 key goals. And the first 2 of them is very related to climate and climate change, which is of course good and important. But what I find most interesting is actually that they have set 4 environmental goals. And what's good about that is we need to see the connection between climate change and nature risk. And I will come back to that later. But if we continue like this, there is a risk that we don't have clean water to drink and not enough food to eat. And well, how happy are you then having a nice sofa if you not have enough food? So this is also important, and it's really the very basis, for living good lives and secure life and have prosperity. So we need to understand how our business models actually are connected with the nature. And in this work, EU has made a very interesting analytical approach also, which sectors are the worst in terms of polluting, but also for the climate change. And if your customers, as we look into this, is through our customers, they will be impacted, because when EU put out these areas, it's because they are the one that need to change first if we are going to reach the target of net zero emissions by 2050. And all these sectors are spread all over, so they're also relevant at Møre. You can take any place in the union, and it's impacting each and everyone our lives as well. And that is also loads of business models being impacted, but loads of opportunities. So if you look into this, it's a matter of understanding. It's not longer a question now how your business model is impacting climate, but it's actually the other way around. It's how these climate and nature risks are impacting you and your business model. How are you going to make your money more sustainable in the future? And I didn't mention it specifically, but when EU has been working on this, it's all the way, how are we going to take care of people? So we cannot continue to have business model that's only focusing on economic growth. It needs to be balanced with the nature, not the nature are able to create a value for us. And at the end of the day, it's all to make us happy. And we cannot continue to consume the way we do because it's not enough resources in the world. And many people look to the Nordics because we are so fantastic in many ways, but we consume 4 globes, so it's not sustainable. So we need to transform business models to more sustainable business models. And that is actually what this is all about. And when I was preparing for this session, I was thinking, this is my idea, so this is not a Gjensidige part of the presentation. But the changes are so rapid. And yes, we have had a very strange year that we now put behind us, and it's another ahead of us probably. But we need to understand the key drivers also to be able to find solutions. And of course, number one is the energy, because modernizing societies means more electric help, and everyone is going to have all these aids. It's so important that we understand how it impacts. And now electrification. Actually, I just read that Westre announced in Forbes that they are now cooperating with Rolls-Royce to have the first electric flight or plane to be set into production 2026. That's not long. It's just 5 years ahead of us. And then the planes starting to be electric. We already have lots of electric cars, but it's massive and it will impact us. Nature is, I could spend days talking about it, but the trade-off between energy and nature risk is obvious. And I know that at Sunnmøre, there has been huge discussions related to the windmills, but they are part of the solution, and there will be heavy trade-offs going forward between nature risk, technology, quantum computers. They are just mind-blowing. Go back and Google what it is. It's just an example. If we convert to the technology as we know it to quantum computers, actually tasks that would take 800,000 years to find a solution on is now just 1 day with a quantum computer in terms of optimizing fertilization to growing food. So as you know, it's all about these changes. It's how we'll live and build. It's going to be a fantastic journey because so many people sitting in their homes now getting good ideas. And I'm so sure that all these complex problems, they need smart solutions, but cooperation. And at the end of the day, it's actually all about how we can reduce the unsustainable production and consumption. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Bente. Thank you for this insight and for setting also like the tone, the beginning of actions that we want to talk about today. And we began with Chris's setting of the room and the global challenge. You are talking about growing with the Green Deal. And now we are beginning the part of the day where we want to talk about the specific initiatives, because we want to make sure that we are aware of the actions that we can take together. And we love that we will have now Cecilie Myrstad. She will be talking about local banks as drivers of sustainability. So welcome, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, Marielle. So my name is Cecilie Myrstad. I'm Head of Communications and Social Responsibility in Sparebanken Møre, a local savings bank in the northwestern parts of Norway. A big thank you to Irene and NFI for putting this sustainability event in place. We look forward to being a part of this network and working on the greater challenges of our time. I will tell you a bit on how we work with sustainability in Sparebanken Møre and how we try to support and push our region in the right direction. We heard from Chris the importance of having a purpose for your business. I think it's very interesting and we couldn't agree more. The savings bank model contains within itself both the strengths and powers to contribute to sustainable development. Sparebanken Møre has also committed itself of being a driving force in this work through the bank's vision of being a leading contributor to creative enthusiasm in Nordvestlandet, the northern parts of Norway, that is, every day. This vision entails us taking a leading role in developing our region through knowledge, engagement, and returning a significant contribution back to the community. We will create value for the benefits of people, business, and society. That's our why. But in order to understand the force that a local savings bank has in a community, you have to know our history. Sparebanken Møre is a result of more than 40 small local banks joining forces in 1985, but the oldest one with roots going back to 1843. And it's had its office on the White House in the picture. Several of these banks were built on capital from grain storage. So from the very beginning, the banks belonged to the local community, and an important part of their role was to ensure a sustainable development of the local society they were part of. And this business model still stands very strong. Today, sustainability work has become an integrated part of our strategic planning, and we have established a sustainability strategy and committee within the bank. Both Norway and the world community urgently needs to restructure in the next few years in order to achieve the climate targets for 2030, as Bente also told you about the EU Green Deal. As a regional savings bank, we have the power to influence both through banking and through the projects we get involved in. We have set strategic goals for our sustainability work. Our goals are divided into 3 pillars: ourselves, our customers and suppliers, and the society. Our focus on sustainability goes hand in hand and encompasses everything from responsible lending and asset management, combating economic crime, our purchases, requirements for our suppliers, diversity and equality, reduction of greenhouse gases, and a number of other areas. As a regional bank, we play an important part in the region's ecosystem with the local businesses, the people living here, the settlement, and the infrastructure. And as the largest bank in the Northwest, we live in shared destiny with our customers. We are close to what is happening in the local communities, companies, and industries. This has for a long time produced useful knowledge that benefits both the bank and our customers. Founders, business owners, and employees in our region are used to adapting. They have done so throughout the ages, building stone upon stone, learning from each other, inspiring each other, and challenging each other. And this is how we've built a strong region. And this is also the way we have to work in the future. We work with sustainability from several angles. We work, of course, with our own operations, making our portfolio greener and more sustainable, towards customers and suppliers, and towards society in general. The financial industry will contribute to speeding up the restructuring required to achieve the goals of the Paris Agreement and the UN SDGs. One of the projects we are doing are Næringsteft, translated to Nose for Business. We are very proud to working with talented entrepreneurs in the region. Næringsteft is a skills journey and competition for entrepreneurs in our region. We just finished the 4th round with this, and this time it was fully digital due to COVID. We had almost 70 entrepreneurial teams as part of this year's Næringsteft. And yesterday, the winner was announced. Exotech with the entrepreneur Sigurd Groven, as you see in the picture. He was paralyzed from the chest down in a bicycle accident in 2015. Now the entrepreneur is investing everything in developing an all-electric quad bike with extreme accessibility and the terrain for people with disabilities. Through the competition, he has now 1 million Norwegian kroners to use on his business and the further development. And so many doors have been opened up during the competition. Through these 4 years, over 250 plus entrepreneurs have increased their knowledge in building a business, and several of them have become successful businesses, providing new and exciting workplaces in the region. Sustainability is, of course, an important part of the program. We are about making a bigger impact. When we work and consider different projects, one of the things we work on is how we can make this bigger, more meaningful for more people and businesses. And the ripple effects of supporting projects connected to each other are big. And this is especially evident in the collaborations with Ålesund municipality, as I will tell you about now. In December 2018, we supported a digital twin for the municipality of Ålesund. And after that, the snowball really started rolling. First, the municipality of Ålesund decided to join the UN initiative, United for Smart and Sustainable Cities, U4SSC, as the first city in Norway, shortly after deciding to establish the UN Future Lab at NMK, where Kari talked from today. Then the other bigger cities in the county, Molde and Kristiansund, had their KPI measurements and digital twins. But the county did not stop there. Together with OiER, they launched a program to measure KPI for all municipalities in the county, making this the very first county in Norway to have a complete KPI mapping. The report is about to be finished in these days. They have learned a lot doing this work that will benefit others going forward. The information from these analyses will be important not only to the municipalities and the county, but also to the businesses in the region. With increased knowledge, better decisions can be made, so we can prioritize and transform into a more sustainable region. Many more projects have been started since then related to this. Our region is known for its stamina and for its ability to adapt. And we have really seen this through the challenges COVID has presented. But this is also true when it comes to their work with sustainability. Several companies are working really hard with this and changing the way they work, how they produce, how they're working with their suppliers, while others may need a push or a helping hand. By sharing knowledge, we help not only each other, but ourselves in reaching the overall sustainability goals. In order to be competitive, we have to work with sustainability into the core of our business. Some of these local businesses you will get to know more about later on in this webinar. And I am so looking forward to hearing how Anlegg, Devold of Norway, and Slettvoll telling us more about how they work with sustainability, because they are all great role models in their industry. So 3,211 days. That's the number of days left until 2030. By that time, Norway and the world should have become a low-emission society. Norway has set itself hairy goals of cutting climate emissions by 50% over the same period. And with such a goal, there will be both requirements and regulations for Norwegian companies. And it is necessary for us to work together to meet these goals. No one can do everything, but everyone can do something, and we can all learn from each other. So let's work together. That's all for me. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Cecilie. You ended up in quite a powerful note, and one that we believe in as NFI, which is let's collaborate. No one can do all alone. And so it's the power of collaboration. Thank you very much for giving this insight and for supporting and working with us to put together this day.
Thank you.
Now let's welcome Kari Aina. She will be talking about data, sustainability, and smart cities. Are you ready, Kari?
Yes, I am. I hope
Welcome.
you can hear me well.
Yes, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me to speak here. And I think I could not have had a better introduction than what Cecilie was doing before me. and giving us a little bit of insight into the program that actually we are implementing on behalf of the UN, but also now having a very big focus on Norway. So I'll come back to that. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so actually what Cecilie was saying, 3,200 and something days. If we are continuing on the path that we are on now, it will take us exactly 100 years to achieve the SDGs. We don't have 100 years, we have 10 years. So we need to do something. And what Cecilie was saying in terms of partnerships, this is really true. And it's not partnership as we have been used to think about partnership. This is not going to bring us where we need to be. So we need to think very innovative in terms of how we're going to move forward together in new ways. And it's urgent. Having the SDGs as a global framework and a trajectory, right, for what we want to do and what we want to achieve for ourselves. Is it possible? I think it absolutely is, but we need to make it very actionable and we need to make it very concrete that everybody understands and find their place in this big puzzle, because that's what it is. It's not 17 boxes with beautiful colors. It is really set together as a trajectory to try to achieve a sustainable world together. We are working in partnership, as was said here, on all levels. We are working on together with United Nations, which is also the host of the standard. I will just say very few words about that. I am mindful of the time. Cities at the core. We know 80% of the economy is produced in cities. So cities are really where we need to set in really a lot of the efforts to achieve the goals. But of course, we are working with all stakeholders related to public sector. We are working with academia, we're working with the private sector, and we're working with the finance sector. So all of these groups, and I think through the years, I've been said so many times, you know, just focus on one group, just limit it, but it's impossible. That's really what's needed now, to glue this together in a way that we can all find our place in this puzzle. The UN program that we have worked for 7 years now to develop, this is the U4SSE, which also Cecilie was mentioning. It's now 17 UN agencies that is supporting these initiatives, focus of cities, private sector, and all these other elements that you saw. And focus is, of course, SDG 11, but of course, all SDGs is all interlinked. We are working on a standard, so that's what also was referred to here. We have evaluated many cities also in Norway. So we are using it, that we get a common language of what is it actually we need. What's the status? What do these cities and communities really need? Are they sustainable as they are now? Before you start to put on this and that project, right? We need to have a holistic approach to city and community development. And this standard that we've developed during the last years is really what we are doing now and rolling out in cities around the world, that also the private sector, the finance sector can understand and be part of this, covering the needs of the cities, I would say, in a good way. It also about, that was mentioned here, digital transformation. So how do we actually use the digital tools? How can we use the data in better ways? And I know Joel will speak here more about that, which is also part of the program. It's all about infrastructure and innovation and partnership in new ways. It's about the finance mechanisms that was also mentioned, and it's about the capacities that we understand, and we are working together on raising the understanding of how to do this together. The standard, I go very quick into that, but it's the most important is that we have something that not just cities and communities know where they stand, but also that we can compare and cooperate between cities as unity nodes to cooperate with each other. That's been really the missing parts. Every city doing their own thing and developing fantastic things, but not sharing it. And if we're going to be, per se, so 90 years quicker, we need to start to share these good solutions that is happening around in the cities. This is the evaluation that we do very quickly. We are looking into the 3 dimensions, main dimensions of sustainable development in our view: economy, environment, society, and culture. So not just climate, these type of issue, really looking into the economy and society issue. All of these things, we're looking into 92 areas, covering 130 points that we are looking into as a holistic approach to smart and sustainable development. This is actually one of the results, and I can say so much that it is Ålesund. the city here, and it's as you can see, it's red is under 30% of the global benchmarking which we have now, and as was said here, Norway has very high targets, so I think this benchmarking will actually be raised. Then you have the yellow, which is middle, and then you have the green, which is above the threshold. So this is also, you see all the SDG, all the KPIs linked to the SDGs. And of course, SDG 11 is really in the core here, but we are covering all of those SDGs in this one snapshot of the cities and communities. We are currently evaluating much more, but it's 200 cities that's approximately done it. But what's happened was that, and was mentioned here, is that Naalsund was the first city joining the program in 2018. And after that, we have now 45 cities and communities in Norway have had already the evaluation, and we're starting another 40 just now. So we are having around 90 cities and communities in Norway already being evaluated using the same method, which makes this, of course, much more useful also in a regional approach. And as Cecilie said, the region of Møre og Romsdal, the region here has done that for all their communities, and we just now got the results to see, and we're going to start to dig into how we're going to solve a lot of those issues. What is really interesting is that these KPIs, we're not doing an evaluation for doing an evaluation. We're doing it for actually getting solutions into cities quicker and really channeling the financing in and doing all these things we need to do. So the KPIs has been developed so that the private sector solutions are already really directly linked into the evaluation, making this a very interesting tool for the private sector and for the finance sector, because we can now prepare pipelines of projects for multiple cities at the same time, which makes this, of course, very interesting for anyone either selling a solution or want to finance or invest into different solutions in different cities, different regions. I'm not going to touch much about that. Joel is going to come with a presentation on the digital twins, but the digital twins is actually a game changer in really making those goals and possibilities, because we need to rapidly understand these different information and how we move forward. And the scenario planning is, of course, the most effective way to do that, to show what we need to do. So I'm not going to go much into that, but the labs, we've developed co-creation labs, and one is in Norway, and that's actually a Nordic lab, so really fit into here, and Marielle will talk about that. But this is totally essential to have new places where we can actually co-create. And of course, now, as was said, we're all sitting in our living rooms for a year, but I hope, during this year that we can start to meet and be in those physical labs that we are also now establishing, another one in Singapore just now and another one in the US. And it's going to be also very interesting to see those labs cooperating with each other. Yeah, so Norway is now, as I said, the first U4CC program, national program, and we're already starting to take a lot of the knowledge from Norway out to other countries. So there's a lot of countries now replicating the Norway model, and we're just starting now here in Austria to evaluate one region with 170 municipalities with the same evaluation that we're going to link then hopefully to the Norwegian region that is just finished now. We have also a dashboard. We have many websites. ITU website is the main website where we have all the reports. I think there is, almost 30 reports from Norway already on the website. But we also have another website with the Norwegian dashboard where everybody can go in and have a look what's the result is for the Norwegian cities and how we're working on multiple of projects to support the cities and communities in cooperation with the private sector and finance sector and academia to really make this happen. Yeah, I was a very quick round here, and but you will hear more from Joel and Marielle and many others who are linked also into the program. So thank you very much.
Wow, thank you very much. I'm so curious to get into the dashboards and learn more. Thank you very much. And also I'm curious to listen to what Joe will complement about this perspective. So Joe, with no further ado, let me welcome you to talk about sustainability as a reality.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the introductions there, and thank you for the details from Kari. I'm just going to start off by sharing my screen. We've heard about the number of days it's going to be until we have to solve this. We've heard about, if we continue business as usual, how long it's going to take for us to really meet the sustainability goals. So we need to find some new options, some new solutions. And basically what I'm going to try and say today is if we use and we connect the data we're already sitting with, connect all the information we're using, then we actually have a superpower by connecting the humans and the machines together to really make these solutions work better and faster. So what is a digital twin? A digital twin is really just an interface. We talk all the time about technology, but really it's about humans. It's not about the technology, it's about the humans. And a digital twin is an interface between humans and vast amounts of information. We know as humans, we can process imagery so much faster than data. I think the figure is something like 60,000 times faster we can understand an image than we can just figures and words. So we create a digital twin to help us to understand risk and to see new opportunities. And that leads directly to the financial savings, it leads to a more sustainable solution, and it leads to a better quality of life. And what we're looking for all the time is that triple win, that win where we make it more financially viable, but we also make it a more sustainable solution. As I said, humans are fantastic at images. We can pick out, and I can look at an image, and even the best AI, artificial intelligence, can analyze an image, and it will take them much more time than a human to understand that image and what's going on. We can also think in a parallel way. We can come up with novel solutions a machine could never come up with. Machines are great at data processing, far better than any of us ever will be. And to be honest, good luck to them, because I'd rather not do data processing. Going through pages and pages of data is really quite dull. Let's let the machines do that, but let's link to that and use that to really make a big difference. So what we've done is we've created, and as you heard, we worked together with the bank and together with the UN and Kari to start off, and we did a prototype here in Naalsund, and now we've got about 20 cities which we're prototyping and moving stuff forward with, most of them within Norway and a handful internationally in this prototype stage directly with the UN. And we're looking to understand data and understand how the data can work for us. So this example I'm going to start off with, I'm going to talk about it very quickly, but one of the KPIs that Kari mentioned was response time for emergency services. We looked and we took in the data for a city here, and we took in all of that big data which the fire brigade was sitting with. And like all big data, everybody talks about it all the time and nobody really uses it. So we said, can we just borrow that data? Can we actually use it and make it do some work for us? So we put in the last 5 years of data for response times, together with all the traffic data. And of course, response times connect directly to traffic. And we thought, what can we do to change this? So we put it into the simulator and we did a number of different setups, but the biggest one was changing opening times of schools and nurseries and city-owned buildings. And changing some opening times doesn't reduce the traffic in total, but it smooths the curve. We hear so much in current COVID time about smoothing the curve. It's the same thing with traffic, it's the same thing with anything. Peak flow is the issue, it's not just the total numbers often. So if you can change your peak flow, you can change things quite dramatically. So we did it with schools. We also looked and used some artificial intelligence and machine learning together with the university here to look at garbage trucks and all of the setups there. And then we did some work together looking at parking and increasing price of parking in rush hour times. Just making a few little changes, but looking at the big picture, not looking at individual parts, not saying, okay, we've got a problem with the roads, we need new roads. We've got a problem with the fire brigade, we need a new fire station. Let's look at the big picture and understand all that data together. We did some new simulations and we were able to halve the response time with just a few simple changes, which didn't mean new infrastructure changes or anything like that. I'm going to play you a quick video just to explain a bit of this idea. Oh, before I do that, sorry, this was also showing some data from everybody's mobile phones, anonymous, so nobody needs to worry about it, completely anonymously set up, but understanding the flow. And when we're talking about data, we're not interested in one individual, we're interested in the big picture. So we're not worried about coming into people's lives and wanting to know exactly what they're doing. We just want to understand the big flow. So if we can take data in an anonymous way, we can make life better for everybody.
Let me tell you a story. My dad used to be one of those stressed policymakers. You see, my dad was afraid if a fire were to break out during rush hour, it would be impossible for the firemen to make it in time. And then one day, my dad met this guy. He had this really, really cool technology. This guy showed Dad how he could upload all his tiles of existing data to map the effects wind, rain and temperature would have on the fire. You could even solve traffic jams by knowing where people were moving and changing opening hours of kindergartens and schools so that the fire trucks could move faster. Suddenly, my dad was solving so many of those policy issues that he felt a little bit like a superhero. No, not like that, Dad. Luckily, this little fire of ours has just been another simulation. Okay, guys, let's do it one more time.
Okay, so that's a little bit of what we're working with. And this technology we can use anywhere. We can be using this on the internet, you can use it through Zoom, you can be using it on a laptop, or we can even go into some of our big solutions where we can fly around and we can basically play God. We can fly around and we can control what's going on in a whole city, go down into the smallest detail or have the big overview. So we're really able to expand this technology and test it out in so many ways. And it's amazing when you put people together, what solutions you can find. Now, Kari's talked quite a lot about the KPIs. And the KPIs, we've taken those KPIs, and the KPIs is an amazing benchmark. And without that benchmark, you've got no chance of moving forward. But we've been able to see, okay, let's analyze those and let's take those down to the city to understand how we can move things forward. And this has potentials for anything. We can put in data from everywhere and put in all the different figures. And we've worked with this with many different cities. We've worked with telephone providers. You see Oslo in the background there. You see a number of the cities here around in Norway where we've built up these digital twins. And we're really able to create a full overview where we can really analyze all of those data sets and make those data work for us. Here you see some of the projects we're currently working on. So we're working on water systems and understanding the efficiency of water. We're working on energy, but energy for buildings on a whole city level and using very clever artificial intelligence to allow us to understand not just how to make one building more efficient, but understand how to make a whole city more efficient. We're looking at mobility. And obviously, we're looking at public services and distances to public services and how all of these things can fit together. Now, it is so important to see how all of the different players work together here. And it's very, very important. We have the finance segment as well as everything else. And it's also important that we have the business segment. This video I'm showing you here, you're the first people I've ever shown it to, and it's actually not released yet. This is work we're currently working on with my role in the UN as a co-chair in one of the work groups, where we're taking KPIs now, we're making them for small businesses, small and medium businesses, to understand the environmental and possibilities of sustainability of small businesses. Now, do you want to invest in a business which isn't sustainable? I hope not. Let's make it so we can show the sustainability of our businesses in the future and really take that forward. So as I said, this is just early stuff, but we're taking it and we're not looking just at the city, we're looking at businesses, we're looking at public sector, we're putting all of this together. And if we want to speed it up, so as Kari said, it's not going to be 100 years, but I wrote the figure down here, 3,211 days. I feel the pressure, I have to say. But let's get going, and it's really quite exciting. And we've got all these different areas we can work with. And I really hope that we can work with all of you, and I hope that we can get more and more data in and collaborate with everybody to really make those differences and see those opportunities we've got in front of us. So I've probably been speaking too fast because I have to admit I get quite excited by all of this stuff, but I hope that you've got a little bit of a taste of what we're working with, and I really would like to get in touch with all of you. And as Kari said, this isn't something that one person can solve alone. We've all got to work together. So thank you very much for your time, everybody. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. I figured that if we were in a room, you would be hearing clapping. I think it was not fast for me. It was just exciting. And we wish that we continue collaboration to speak about this. And, you know, thank you very much, Joe, for being with us. And thank you very much to our next guest, Marielle Furnes Mannseth. She will talk about collaboration for sustainability in enterprise, public, academia, and others. So it's a perfect connection. Welcome, Marielle.
Thank you so much, Marisol, and thank you for inviting me. So my name is Marielle Furnes Mannseth, as Marisol said, and I'm the Managing Director for United Future Lab Norway. And Ålesund was the first Norwegian city to apply the UN's KPIs for smart and sustainable cities, as both Kari and Joel has talked about. And United Future Lab, established and run by Ålesund municipality, is developed through collaboration with partners. And the lab is part of the UN program U4SSC for smart and sustainable cities, and is the second lab in the world to have this collaboration with the UN. And having operated in just over 1 year, the Future Lab now has well over 60 partners, some of them you see here. And they are from private businesses, from academia, organizations, and the public sector. And we currently have 16 future-oriented projects going on. Our most important SDG is goal number 17. Working in partnerships is the core of what we do. And together we work in projects within all 3 dimensions of sustainability, both the environmental, the social, and the economical dimensions. And through this, the projects create value as well and opportunities for the partners involved. With currently 64 partners from different sectors and industries, both local, national, and international partners. Some small, as you see, some large. The common factor for all of them here is that they want to make a difference and they want to work towards becoming more sustainable, towards bringing, having a more sustainable society, and also to find new solutions and to work together in partnerships doing this. And as Joel mentioned, technology is a very important tool for our projects as well. We use the digital twin in many of our projects. And to contribute to becoming more sustainable through technology is very high on our agenda. To be able to reach the 17 goals, I totally agree with Kari and Joel. We need to work together. No industry or business, organization or country can do this alone. And here you see the KPI analysis for Ålesund. In here, there's lots of opportunities for improvement, for innovation, and for new businesses, and for sharing, of course. And we really look forward to having more labs in our network, as Kari said. Today, 1/4 of all municipalities in Norway have done the analysis, and we work together with these to share ideas and in projects to find new solutions. And being part of the U4SSC network as a lab means that we can help our partners in finding solutions and also to share this. And the Future Lab wants all partners to participate in at least one smart and sustainable project, small or large. And our role is to be a facilitator and a connector and a catalyst for these projects to connect partners into value-driven collaborations. And we also help partners in getting started and moving further in their sustainability work. For example, today, that's why I came in a little bit late, we have one of our partners in the furniture industry doing a full day workshop in finding out how can they implement sustainability into their value chain. And last week, we had a workshop with one of our partners, one of the biggest maritime companies in the area. And being here on neutral ground, because we are a neutral party here connecting these partners. As a meeting arena, both physical and of course digital, we are able to facilitate meetings, workshops, and projects in partnerships. And this gives real value and drives results. So as I said, we are a neutral party, and with the ideal purpose of becoming more sustainable as a society, we see that we are able to connect our partners that normally don't collaborate into projects just because of that we are neutral. And in many ways, we need to change the way both the private and public sector works. As this public sector, for example, has a big impact on the SDGs. And in order to do that, we need to collaborate between sectors. For example, within the EU's Horizon program, there's a lot of opportunities there. And this is where the Future Lab want to act as a catalyst to drive the sectors together. So I want to tell you some examples of exactly what is going on in the Future Lab. One example is that we are currently having a global growth program initiated together with Innovation Norway and U4SSC, illustrated here with a photo from our digital partner meeting where we launched the program. And the goal here is to open up to new markets for our partners, specifically in Singapore and Southeast Asia, to our partners that have sustainable solutions to deliver these into new markets in the need of these solutions. It's a big win-win for everyone. Another example of a private-public collaboration is this project, where we see an opportunity developing smarter parking and smarter mobility in an area to reduce traffic while at the same time giving private businesses an opportunity to develop. And while we do have some large projects heavily focused on research and development being funded by national funding agencies or even the EU, we also have some equally as important smaller projects. For example, the E-Teams project. We have funding from Sparebanken Møre for this very nice project, focusing on SDGs within the social dimension. And my last example is car sharing. It's well known in bigger cities, not so well known in smaller cities like Ålesund. But Ålesund municipality, together with Tafjordkraft and Sparebanken Møre, has taken the initiative to establish a car sharing solution in the region, which is actually implemented and efficient now. And this improves several of the findings in the Kpi analysis, which you see here in the corner. And it's a great example both of a project both born and implemented in the Future Lab. We do have many more projects in the pipeline, and you can read more about them in unitedfuturelab.no. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing this initiative. And you know, as we were talking about the flow of the day, we began talking about that if you don't stand for something, you fall down. We talked about the Green Deal to support this, the local force with local banks as a driver for sustainability. We talked about the smart cities, then the sustainability as a reality using digital twins. We talked about about collaboration for sustainability with your talk, Marielle. And for us, this hits the core of also what NFI stands for. And we are so happy and proud to be collaborating with you also for this, because we need to look into specific projects, but also create connection and bring people together to work. And this is, we are really happy and excited about this collaboration. And now,
thank you, and likewise.
Thank you very much. And now we are moving forward the next chapter, which is local businesses and their work with sustainability. And I really like this because we were also kind of working hard into just showing realities, because this is something that we need to do right now and working right now. So I'm sure that you all will like and enjoy a lot this the next block of participations. First, let me welcome Kai. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Say it for me, please. Welcome.
Hello, and I really look forward to this, because we really need to work together for the future on local basis and every day. And what do we do in Ålesund? In Norwegian Maritime Competence Center, we are working together, or a lot of the speakers today, we are really meeting very often in this building. And I would like to share with you how we think when we put up this building to make people work together. So this is how we think, because we are thinking even for children. So we have this Newton room here, where we have people coming in, learning about technology, about the future, and about sustainability. So already when they are young, they are starting to thinking. But we have people in all kinds of ages coming in here. It's on each age. It's from 6 years old, 12 years old, 15, 20, 21. We have different kind of research company here. And we have the United Future Lab, where all the industry are meeting. But we also have people from academia, from business and public sector. We are all joining forces. And it's so important that we discuss ideas, and no ideas are stupid. And we need to do it today, not tomorrow. You will never be the best if you are waiting until tomorrow, if you have the opportunity to do it today. So we like to do it today. So what are we doing then? Well, in this United Future Lab, inspired by Kari and Marielle and Joel and so on, a lot of companies are coming in and getting new ideas of how to use this. And I would like to share one example with one company I am a part of. that's AKO. And AKO is a company with a lot of machines. And what have we done there? We have changed the way of the strategy and the way of treating the human being in the company. So they are thinking in new ways. It's very easy when you first do it, because in the old days, 2 years ago, when an employee coming to job, they starting the machine, going and taking a smoke and taking a coffee, and the machine are running the whole day. But that was in the old days. What are we doing today? We have learned them that you can stop the machine every time you are going out. What do we achieve by doing that? Well, we are reducing the idling. So we are reducing it from 45%, that's the average in Norway, to 15%. And we are saving a lot of CO2. We reduce the pollution, and we are saving money because we are really reducing the fuel. And we also are reducing the need for service on the machine, and we can have the machine 1 more year for free. That's money, that money talk. And we also are reducing the noise where we have the machine. That's good for the public. And we can do so much. We are also into another project where we are into growing soil, where we, myr, what's that in English? The mud. When other competitors have to pay to get rid of it, we use it as a resource and getting paid for it. So we are taking it short distance stones. How many companies are counting how many meters you are traveling the stones? Well, we are doing it, and we are earning money on it. And we have invested in electrical car. We have ordered the first trucks with electrical cranes and so on. And this week, we have changed this mindset, and we have doubled the size of the company in 1.5 to 2 years. And it's a local company, but with huge ambitions. And this week we get a big local road to build in competition with all the Norwegian company. And we did something that no one have done before. We made a very small film with simulation together with Joe Co and simulate how can we do this work in a way it haven't done before. So we can do it in a much better way. So we are not reducing the traffic by digging the machines and so on. And that changed the mindset of the people that are really counting who will get this, this job. So we get a small extra point, so we won it. But this way of working, we are sharing it with the competitors because everybody can do it. And it's free, and you're earning more money, and you are saving the future. And this you can do at farms too. Why can't you stop the tractor when you're not using it? It's just learning people a new way of thinking and using existing machines. And it's a quick fix. But we need to tell people about it and that it's possible. So it's so many interesting ways of doing business in the future. But we need to bring it out to the people. But we really also need to learn the young people this new way of thinking, because they are thinking out of the box in a different way than old people like me are doing it. So that's just a little taste of what we are doing with every day.
And this is so clear that sustainability can be a good business, an immediate business with simple actions if we look smartly at this. And we will also work together to share the story and make sure that we educate those who are coming as well. Thank you very much, Kai, for your exciting story, and we will follow up all your projects. Thank you very much.
Okay, now, looking forward to meet you here in Naalsund.
Yes, we are waiting to be there. You don't know how much. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Now we will welcome Karoline Gatti. She's head of sustainability and strategic projects at Slettvoll. So, Karoline, welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And thank you for hosting this perfect event. It's so much fun to hear what's happening out there. And it's a lot of fun to hear what's happening here in my own city. So my name is Karoline Flotre. I'm head of sustainability at Slettvoll Møbler. And first I want to just use one slide presenting our company, because I guess there is someone out there who doesn't know who we are. We were established in 1951. We're a furniture company. We have a factory site in beautiful sceneries in Stranda, as you can see up in the right. about 50 employees focusing on handcraft. We have headquarters in Ålesund and Stranda, where we do design and product development. We even design our textile. We have a concept department, as you can see up in the left corner here. We do sourcing, supply chain, marketing, photo. But in addition to this, we have our own brand store. We sell our furniture exclusively through our own store. We have 19 stores, 15 in Norway, 3 in Sweden, and 1 in Copenhagen. One of the stores is picture of down here in the left. And they're all built on our Slettvoll concept, designed to give you ideas and to make you dream and be able to come in and choose between our 300 textile to create your dream living room. We also deliver at your door. We come in and we place the furniture and bring the packaging back home. And so we have total control of our value chain, which is quite special here in Norway. Sustainability has been in the DNA for Slettvoll since we were established, but last year we took it to the next level. We focused on SDG 12 the first year, and we have, amongst other, been focusing on how to reduce our textile waste and upcycle it to become new products. As I said, we have local components, we have a quality-driven sourcing, we have high-quality furniture with a timeless design. And last year, we also got environmental management system. We chose Miljøfyrtårn, which is quite known in Norway, which is a great way of starting to systemize the environmental work. So, but I'm going to introduce to you a sustainable business model that we've been working on with a circular economy at the baseline. We also saw that there's a high focus on environment and sustainability amongst our customer, and not only the younger customer, but also about the customers being 35 and up, which is our biggest segment. There's a drive towards service economy. Our customer want to have an easy day, and they want to have more and more services related to our products. We have reduced customer traffic in stores. And we've done a customer survey showing that our customer want access to the furniture. They don't necessarily need to own them. So imagine you can go into our store and you can, or we can come back to your home and create your dream come true living room, dining room, including carpets and lighting and interior decorations. And with the same person, you can get a leasing offer. So you can have 3, 5, or 7 years down payment with a leasing. And you will be able to do all this with a single point of contact. So this is the business model that we're looking at. It starts with the marketing. We will have customer visits either at home or in store or at your company. We do interior design with the collage and color and textile and accessories and help you to create your dream. And you also get a leasing offer where we do the credit check with the bank and you will get different leasing options. Upon acceptance, we make the order, we only produce the order, and our finance partner will be the one handling the invoicing and the credit checks. We deliver at home. We have also included a service and maintenance package in this business model, where we will actually go home to the customer and help the customer maintain the furniture. This will increase the living range of the products. And also it will be easier for the customer to get our advice and to get help oiling the wood table, for instance. By the end of term, we will contact the customer. We will introduce a new a new living room option for them, new furnitures, redecorate the place. And when we deliver the new furnitures, we will bring back the old one by the end of term, and we will maintain them and handle the sale of the old furnitures. So there's a lot of details going on to be able to launch this new business model for us. We have put RFIDs into our furnitures. We have worked hard to find the finance partner. We've done a new marketing, and we're going to do training for all of our 110 sales crew. And we're going to pilot this the next month in the business segment. We are going to launch it in the private sector as well, but we're doing a pilot in the business sector because it's only 5% of our total sale today. It's a great potential, but it's also a good way for all of our shops and our business and our our sales crew to be used to this option. So we're very excited, and I was also asked to give some recommendations. If you're a company and wanted to start a sustainability goal, find something you can actually do tomorrow.
Thank you very much for connecting. Thank you for sharing your project. It's really exciting. And now I miss that I'm not in the Nordics to buy your furniture. Thank you for getting us to know your project. And now let's welcome Gro Naalsund, Marketing Director at Devold. Gro, the floor is all yours.
Thank you. So thank you for inviting us today and sharing many great ideas here. Just going to share my screen. Good. So I'm the marketing director for Devold of Norway. We are a small company located on the west coast of Norway, and we're a part of the Flotre group. And we started in 1853, and we craft wool garments for the outdoor industry, but also for the workwear market. And so today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our dilemma in the industry, in the textile industry. So it's mass production versus responsible consumption. And we know that the way we consume today is not sustainable, and we are not able to recycle everything that we throw away. And also we don't have the resources to keep going this way. So I think for Devold, it has two sides. We have the producer responsibility, and then we have the consumer's responsibility. And as a brand, we need to take responsibility not to put too many products onto the market that doesn't serve a purpose. And I think our design purpose is doing this in the right way. We are fit for purpose, so we don't produce any products which doesn't have a function. And we believe that slow is a choice. Some of our competitors are launching many collections a year, and we have two collections, but we're looking into doing one. So we believe that slow is a choice, that our garment is made to last, and not just for a season, but for generations. So how do we reduce? So Devold, we are letting 70% of our products live for a minimum of 3 years. Then we don't bring too many products onto the market, which I think is important from a supplier responsibility. When it comes to recycling, we are part of several initiatives, one with Norsk industry. The wool industry and the sports industry are working together now, and we're also looking at our own take-back system for recycling wool. So rethink, how do we design our products? So using as little material as possible, exploring natural and degradable fibers, and also the ability to repair and to exploring rental models. And for us, there is no shortcuts to quality. And our goal is not to deliver groundbreaking volumes, but to produce the best quality garments done the right way. And so that's why we own our own value chain. We have our own factory, and we work with our farmers and taking the wool all the way back from the farm it came from and into our value chain. So to elaborate on that, we today have 100% traceability of our garments. 60% can be traced down to the farm it came from, and you can see that on the label when you go buy a garment. We believe that natural is a choice, so 84% of our collection has natural fibers. And since 2018, we've reduced plastic and cardboard, and then we are a member of the Grønnpunkt. More to, we have in 2020, we started to report to World Economic Forum, and our factory is also certified according to ISO 14001. It's Ecotech certified. It's compliant to EU's REACH standard, and all of our products produced at our factory is Ecotech certified. Our contractors follow the code of conduct, and we have a saying in Devold. We say it's simple. Great people, they farm great wool. So it's all about the people we work with. And that's why we choose our own farmers. And they all apply to the 5 freedoms of animal welfare. So we know that the sheep are well treated where our wool comes from. We have a factory in Lithuania, and one of the reasons we chose Lithuania is that we want our workers to thrive. So we have over 300 people working there, and it's a state-of-the-art factory, and we know that they're treated well. And Lithuania was chosen because there is a strong tradition on textile production in Lithuania. 94% of our garments comes from our own factory, and this is something we're working on trying to make it 100%. So reducing our carbon footprint, we're moving more garments into our factory, and moving means that we move a merino wool across the large distances. We also have a Norwegian wool, but 90% is done by land and sea, which I think is important. Also, the factory is working on more sustainable energy resources using solar energy. And in terms of cutoffs, we recycle 100% of all cutoffs from the factory from our garments. So we believe natural is a choice. So sometimes we need to bring stuff back from the past to create a better future. And we know that our ancestors chose wool because they knew it was the textile that worked. And we know today it's sustainable, but also it still protects us against harsh weather conditions. And natural fibers also requires a minimum of washing, resulting in less wear, reduction in water consumption, and of course the important less microplastics that comes into our oceans. So bringing you back to the consumer's responsibility, they have to also share their responsibility and choose natural and not least quality. And we believe that quality is about choosing craftsmanship and buying less, but it's also about trust. So for over 165 years, we have been working with wool to make the quality clothes that you need for equipment you can trust. So this goes back to polar explorers, but also the ones that wear our workwear today, to work every day, like firemen. And finishing off then with our ultimate goal will be to have you check your label the next time you buy clothes. So if it contains more plastic than natural fibers, don't buy it. Thank you very much.
That's a perfect call to action and something that everyone can do in our everyday lives. Thank you very much. Thank you, Gro, and we are looking forward to keep track of what you are doing and your work. And now we move to the last part, the last session of this amazing journey. As you've seen, we had packed content. We were trying to create a dynamic day with tons of ideas and inspiration. And now we finish with the fireside chat. So let me welcome Tina Salbet. Say hello.
Hello.
Welcome. Welcome today. You are Chief Analyst for Sustainable Finance at Nordea.
That's right.
Welcome today. Then we have Zeeshan Rashid, Global Head Advisory, Risk and Compliance, Climate Risk at Tata Consultancy Services, or TCS for friends. Hello, Z.
Hello, Marisol.
Welcome. And Johan, hello, Johan Modenius. He is Head of Banking Relationships, Nordics and Baltics at MasterCard.
Yes, hello.
Hello, everyone. You know, the title of this fireside chat is Global Efforts on Sustainability. And we have 3 amazing companies here today, Nordea, MasterCard, and TCS. You are all doing global efforts on sustainability. You have impact in many sectors, in many kind of customers. So I want to ask each of you if you can explain us what you are doing and what is your current work in sustainability. Let's begin with Tina.
Okay, thank you very much. Sustainability is it's actually reaching across many different areas. And I will give you one example how we as a big or a large international bank could actually have an impact. Because I don't agree that even though we are a bank, we could still do have a bit of local presence and local impact where we are. So I want to give you one good example of how we could, as a financial institution, have an impact on the sustainability. This is an example where we actually, from 2015, where we went on a field trip to India, to one of the cities, Hyderabad, where we work with some of our clients in the pharmaceutical industry. And we wanted to make a field study of how actually the pharmaceutical industry is influencing the local community, and not at least the water, because we had some indication that is not working very well. We went down there to see how it was working, and we were not very happy about how the pharmaceutical industry actually had an influence on the local community. So the year after, we put up a commission, an independent on-ground investigation, to see how the pharmaceutical industry was influencing the local community. And what we found was quite depressing, because we saw that the chemicals, for example, were floating out in the water. The water was contaminated. We saw that rivers and lakes and also the groundwater was contaminated. So then we actually made a report on this. We took it to the CEOs of these pharmaceutical, that is global companies, pharmaceutical companies, and show them what we found. And after that, of course, they were forced to change. And the year after, come back again to see how they managed to change. And in this way, we managed actually to get the big pharmaceutical industries to change the way they actually handled their chemicals and how they work with the local communities. So this is one example of how we can work as a big bank. Another good example, I think, is more local, and so because we are part of the United Nations Global Compact, and that is the local network. So we're part of the Norway's National Ocean Platform, and we are specifically engaged in 3 different areas, and that is green shipping, offshore energy, and fully traceable seafood. We have our best expertise on seafood in Naalsund. So in this part, to work together with other institutions, not only financial ones, but also governmental institutions and other partners, we use our experiences and knowledge from Naalsund, take it into this, this working group, and this will also be scaled to a more global session. So it's possible to be a big bank who work locally and bridge this information and these experiences.
Working actively with your customers and with the surroundings to create real impact. That's amazing. And Z, in your own experience, you also have all kinds of customers as TCS all around the world. What's your vision in these global efforts for sustainability?
Hi everyone, my name is Zeeshan, you can call me Z. I run the climate change advisory for Tata Consultancy Services globally. I also have the responsibility to run the risk and compliance advisory. Now, being sustainable can be very easy and very tough at the same time. Easy because we just need to look at nature and adapt. Difficult because in the last 200 years, all we have done is to go against all the rules of nature, driven by material and industrial progress, profits, and stakeholder value enhancement. Nothing wrong with that, if it does not disturb the equilibrium, which unfortunately it has significantly. We have created for ourselves a take, make, waste economy, or what we call as a linear economy. And that is giving us a lot of problems now, and it will really enhance as we go ahead as well. So the idea is to move towards a circular economy and adapt to the way nature works. Now, TCS is a very large organization with more than 450,000 associates across 50 countries that we operate. We are organized in various verticals, such as banking, financial services, and insurance, retail, manufacturing, high-tech, utilities, so on and so forth. This actually gives us a holistic view across all entities in the global ecosystem, and so that we can derive the right solutions and services for our customers and help them achieve the SDG goals. We always want to build and help sustainable businesses, for ourselves, as well as help to build sustainable businesses for our customers as well, which are rooted in community, and they demonstrate the care for the environment. Now, for the sustainability efforts to be successful, it has to be based not just on profit. Yes, we are all there to make profit, but people and planet need to be put in the equation as well. And that is where the key thing is, right? Get people and planet into the equation. And then when you build your businesses, they will be much more sustainable. And believe me, you will make money and you will make profits, which are much more valuable than what we are making at this present time. The radius of things need to move from the short-term view that most of the firms have to the long-term good for everyone, not just for the firm, but as a collaborative effort for everyone who's inhabiting the earth. So it's very important, the word collaboration, and all our esteemed speakers spoke today about collaboration, because we cannot do it alone, but if we all put in our efforts together, we still have a chance to create a much better future and a much more stable and sustainable firms, organization, and society for all of us. Back to you, Myrstad.
That's true, and we do have many specific guidelines that as TCS you are working with, and we are publishing them also, who can actively help companies and organizations to put people and the environment in the center, as you were saying. And Johan, we know MasterCard is also setting up a good set of activities around this, and we are now collaborating also with NFI to do that. But please paint us a picture on what you are doing.
Yeah, I think first of all, you're probably wonder what does a commercial guy doing in the sustainability panel. But I can assure you that sustainability has grown into our DNA in the company, and something we really care for. I think sustainability for us is very much about cooperation and inclusion, I should say. And to be included in something, that also means included in the financial society. So back in 2014, late, we said we would like to bank 500 million people globally to be banked. And together with our 20,000 financial institutions that we cooperate with, we succeeded. But we didn't say hooray, leaning backwards and saying we're great. We raised the bar and said until 2025, we would like to include another 500 billion people. So that is quite a target for us. And since we have 3 billion people connected to us, we have a great network and we can make a difference. And we have also pledged to plant 100 million trees globally. And on top of that, we are working with a company called Economy, where, again, very much about insights. Every purchase you do, you can get a carbon footprint index to that. And by having that, you can do the right choice, whether you buy a shirt or trousers or whatever. And I think that is very important for us.
This is amazing. You know, the impact that all your companies have and the role that they can play into articulating and helping society and the communities to do real and precise actions, you know, that will walk us towards sustainability. I really invite everyone who is connected and everyone who will be watching the video to look into the initiatives of Nordea, MasterCard, and TCS regarding this. And just to close up, I would like to ask Tina and Z and Johan to close up with a specific call to action. So Tina, please give us your conclusion and something that the people who are listening can go and act upon.
I think it's very important that we look at our growth models. C talked a bit about it, but it's very important, especially for the financial industry, that we look at how we could actually create growth. Because in the current growth model, we are only focusing on the financial growth in a company. We need to include the social growth, so we actually change where the capital is flowing. And that is exactly what we are trying to do. We want to put a price on the externalities that we have today, so we find a proper way to actually measure risk. Because if you don't measure risk in a proper way, the money will go to the wrong projects. So if we include, for example, the value of untouched nature, for example, of how the society will work in a circular economy, or for example, how we could live not by using or misusing the nature, but living in accordance with the nature. I think if we conclude that in our business model and in our risk models, I think the capital will support a greener and more sustainable growth. Thank you.
Perfect, and key leverage for all financial institutions. Z, what would be your call to action?
Well, the 17 SDG goals are very powerful. They're very inclusive. It's been there for some time. Everybody understands it, accepts it. Now it is the time to act and make the commitment real. The pandemic has taught us that we are unprepared for a systemic crisis and that there is a collective dependence on the ecosystem through an interwoven fabric of all the participants who are part of it. There is no question of decoupling here, right? So we are all part of one system, and we need to believe that we are part of one system, and it can only be done through collaboration. So we need to think about moving from a linear economy to a circular economy in a very structured and determined way, right? And it dovetails well into the whole SDG principles as well. There is enough scientific evidence on all fronts of the benefits of global sustainability and circular economy. To reap the benefits in time, the key factor will be coordination and collaboration across all entities in the ecosystem. It is our generation which will decide the fate of our future generations. We need to work together to build a better world for everyone. It's not just a good to have anymore. It's about our existence. It's about our future.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's completely true and at the core of everything that we need to do. Johan, what would you say as a closing call to action?
I think, as I said, everything is about cooperation. We'll cooperate with Nordea and other financial institutions, and we would like to include people. So that's very much what it's about. And I think, as you understand, there's a lot of things happening. And also through the day here, we have heard that doing good is helping you doing well as a company. And I think that's also important. There is a business opportunity in this. So please join us, or as we say, doing well by doing good. That's the right way forward.
Well, doing well by doing good is a perfect closure, I think, for the day today. Thank you very much, Tina, Z, and Johan, for this final panel and for being the perfect final words for the journey. I now wish to invite also everyone. I will put the gallery mode, so if you want to activate cameras so we can see who is connected, we will see it here. It will be nice, and I would like to invite Bente and Chris Skinner to join in a final closing word. Bente, any conclusions? How do we bring this to reality?
That's a good question. Thank you all for sharing your thoughts and experiences. My one line now is think big and global and act local. I think we can all find some ways to make a difference together. We can actually make from just talking to action, and we are setting up a sustainability forum where we can continue to share our thoughts. We're planning for that in April, and we will come back to that. And I hope we can all be a big family and help, because we are all aiming at the same target. So thank you all for being here, and I hope I see lots of you later. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bente. And Chris, would you be so kind to bring us a final idea and final thought?
Yeah, I think my final thought is basically that we've heard a lot this morning about sustainability and the United Nations Sustainability Goals, which are set for 2030. I would recommend that you look very carefully at goal number 16, which was not mentioned, which is an inclusive society, and goal 16.9 is a legal identity for everyone on planet Earth. At the moment, there are maybe 1 in 3 people who live on Earth who are not recognized as being alive because they don't have an identity. And that's a huge issue which we need to solve, and digital can solve that issue, and we are working on it. And I think the final thought I have is, we're living in a world that we know is dying unless we fix it. And so what can you actually do to fix it? Not just your company, what can you do? Think about it. That's a really sort of, optimistic way of finishing the event, but I think the whole of this is about, we have to take action. We have to do something. Stop talking about it, do something.
In NFI, we say that our strategy is to connect, think, and do. No, so today was a perfect representation of the connection that we are doing from so many cities, so many countries, so many companies, and so many different backgrounds. We were thinking, certainly you gave everybody many things to think about, and now is execution time. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us in this adventure. It was a fast experiment. It was, Johan, you want to say something?
No, I was just waving because I
Okay.
was thinking you were saying bye.
Yes, thank you very much, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the day, and let's make this a reality. Thank you, everyone.